Driverly.com, unlimited drama series.
I should have known something was wrong when Jenna started working late every Tuesday and Thursday. My wife of 12 years, who used to complain about staying past 5:30 at the advertising agency, suddenly became passionate about client presentations and strategy meetings that ran until midnight. But I'm Alex Denver, and I've always been the trusting type. Too trusting, according to my army buddy Tom, who now runs a private investigation business downtown. You see the good in everyone, he'd tell me over beers. It's gonna bite you in the ass someday. That someday arrived on a cold October evening when I couldn't sleep. I'd been lying in bed for 2 hours, listening to the wind rattle our bedroom windows, when Jenna's phone buzzed on her nightstand. She was in the shower, getting ready for another one of her late nights. The screen lit up with a text message that made my blood freeze. Can't wait to feel you again tonight. Clay. My hands shook as I picked up her phone. No password protection. She'd always said she had nothing to hide. The irony wasn't lost on me as I scrolled through months of messages between my wife and Clay Hartford, a real estate developer I'd met at a few dinner parties. The texts were explicit, detailed, and devastating. Alex is so clueless, one message read. He actually believes I'm working late. Sometimes I feel bad for him, but then I remember how boring he is. Clay's response: don't worry about the loser. You deserve better than some IT project manager who thinks military logistics makes him special. I set the phone down carefully, my mind racing. 12 years of marriage, 12 years of thinking we were building something together, 12 years of being the fool who believed his wife when she said she loved him. The shower was still running. I had maybe 5 minutes before she came out, wrapped in her towel, kissing me goodnight before heading off to screw another man. I picked up the phone again and scrolled further. There were photos, videos, plans for weekend getaways I'd never heard about. Clay talking about leaving his own wife for Jenna. My wife responding that she needed more time to figure out how to handle Alex. That's when I saw the most recent message, sent just an hour ago. Tonight's the night we tell him. I'm done pretending. The shower shut off. I placed her phone exactly where I'd found it and walked downstairs to my home office. My hands were steady now, my mind clear. 13 years in the Army had taught me something valuable. When you're ambushed, you don't panic. You assess, you plan, and you execute. I opened my laptop and started typing. 20 minutes later, Jenna came downstairs in her black dress, the one I'd bought her for our anniversary last year. She looked beautiful, radiant even. Probably because she was in love, just not with me. Working late again? I asked from my desk. You know how it is, she said, not meeting my eyes. Big presentation tomorrow. I might not be back until after midnight. Drive safe, I said. I love you. She paused at the door. For a moment, I thought she might say it back. Instead, she just nodded and left. I waited until her car pulled out of the driveway, then picked up my phone and called Tom. Alex, it's almost 10 o'clock. What's wrong? I need a favor, I said. Professional this time. I need everything you can find on Clay Hartford and my wife's activities over the past 6 months. Jesus, Alex, what happened? I'll explain later. How long will it take? Give me 48 hours. But Alex, whatever you're thinking, I'm not thinking anything yet, I said. That's the problem. I hung up and stared at my computer screen. I'd already started a document titled Project Cancellation. It seemed appropriate. My phone buzzed. A text from Jenna. Don't wait up. Love you. I typed back. Love you too. Have fun at your meeting. But I was already planning her termination. The next morning, Jenna acted like nothing had changed. She made coffee, kissed my cheek, and asked about my day. I played along, discussing my latest IT project, while she nodded and checked her phone. She was probably texting Clay, planning their next encounter. I might be late again tonight, she said, gathering her things. This client is really demanding. No problem, I said. I'll probably work late too. Got some calls to make. After she left, I got to work. First call, Tom's office. Any updates? Jesus, Alex, it's been 12 hours. But I did some preliminary checking. Your boy Clay has been seen around town with a blonde woman matching Jenna's description. 3 different restaurants, 2 hotels. Want me to dig deeper? Everything, I said. Financials, background, business dealings. I want to know what kind of man my wife chose over me. Alex, I have to ask, what are you planning? Nothing illegal, I said. Just want to understand the situation fully before I make any decisions. Second call. My boss at the tech company. Steve, remember that Seattle position you mentioned? The one with the 20% raise? I'm interested. Really? I thought you wanted to stay local because of Jenna's career. Circumstances change, I said. How soon could I start? 2 weeks if you want it. But Alex, this is sudden. Everything okay at home? Everything's about to be much clearer, I said. Third call, Jenna's father, Robert. We'd always gotten along well. He was old school, believed in marriage and commitment. This conversation was going to hurt him, but he deserved to know what his daughter had become. Alex, good to hear from you. How's my little girl treating you? I took a deep breath. Robert, I need to tell you something, and it's going to be difficult to hear. 20 minutes later, after I'd explained everything and sent him screenshots of the text messages, Robert was quiet for a long time. I'm sorry, son, he finally said. I raised her better than this. What can I do? Just don't let her manipulate you when this comes out, I said. She's going to try to make me the villain. Over my dead body, Robert said. You've been nothing but good to her. If she's throwing that away for some rich playboy, she's going to learn what consequences feel like. Fourth call, a moving company. I need everything moved out of a house by tomorrow evening. Can you do that? Sure, but that's rush service. It'll cost extra. Money's not an issue, I said. I'll pay double if you can have it done by 6 p.m. tomorrow. The rest of the day was spent in preparation. I opened a new bank account and transferred half of our joint savings, my half. I left Jenna's half untouched. I wasn't a thief, just a man taking back what was his. I packed my personal items, my computer equipment, and anything that belonged to me alone. The movers would handle the furniture tomorrow. I was keeping the pieces I'd bought before we got married, and anything I could prove was mine. She could have the rest. At 5 p.m., Tom called back. Alex, you need to hear this. Clay Hartford isn't just cheating on his wife. He's been embezzling from his own company. I found records of diverted funds, fake invoices, the works. His business partner has no idea. How much are we talking about? At least $200,000 over the past year. Maybe more. And get this. He's been using the money to impress women. Expensive hotels, jewelry, trips. Your wife isn't his first affair. Send me everything, I said. Email it all to me. Alex, what are you going to do with this? The right thing, I said. I'm going to make sure the truth comes out. That evening, Jenna came home at 12:30 a.m., reeking of cologne that wasn't mine. She slipped into bed thinking I was asleep. How was your meeting? I whispered. She jumped. Oh, you scared me. It was fine. Long, but productive. Good, I said. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Why? What's happening tomorrow? You'll see, I said. Sweet dreams, honey. I felt her tense beside me, but she didn't ask any more questions. She probably thought I was talking about work. She had no idea that tomorrow her old life would officially end. I took a personal day on Friday. Jenna left for work as usual, complaining about another late night ahead. I kissed her goodbye and wished her luck with her presentation. The movers arrived at 8 a.m. sharp. Everything except what's on this list, I told the foreman, handing him a detailed inventory. The furniture marked with blue tape stays. Everything else goes to the storage unit. By noon, the house was half empty. I kept the couch, the kitchen table, and the bed, all things Jenna had picked out. I took my desk, my bookshelves, my workshop equipment from the garage, and all of my personal belongings. The house looked hollow, incomplete. It matched how I felt inside. At 2 p.m., I drove to Clay's office building downtown. His company, Hartford Development, occupied the entire third floor of a glass tower. I took the elevator up and walked into the reception area. I'd like to speak with Clay's business partner, I told the receptionist. It's about some financial irregularities I've discovered. Mr. Patterson is in meetings all afternoon. Can I schedule something for next week? Tell him it's about missing company funds, I said. I think he'll want to see me today. 20 minutes later, I was sitting across from David Patterson, a thin man in his 50s who looked like he hadn't slept well in months. Mr. Denver, what exactly are you claiming about my partner? I slid a folder across his desk. Clay has been embezzling from your company for at least a year. These are bank records, invoices for personal expenses charged to company accounts, and documentation of diverted funds. Patterson's face went white as he flipped through the papers. Where did you get this information? I hired a private investigator to look into Clay's activities. I had my reasons. What reasons? He's been having an affair with my wife, I said. I wanted to know what kind of man she was choosing over me. Turns out he's a thief. Patterson stared at the documents for a long time. This is devastating. If this is accurate, we're talking about criminal charges. That's your decision, I said. I just thought you deserved to know what your partner has been doing with your company's money. I left Patterson's office and drove to my next stop, Jenna's workplace. The advertising agency was buzzing with Friday afternoon energy. I found Sarah Mitchell, Jenna's best friend and the company's HR director, in her corner office. Alex, what a surprise. Jenna's in meetings all day, but I can get her for you. Actually, I wanted to talk to you, I said, about Jenna's recent behavior. Sarah's smile faded. What do you mean? I know about Clay Hartford, I said simply. I know about the affair, the lies, the late-night meetings that aren't really meetings. Sarah's face went through several expressions before settling on guilt. Alex, you knew, I said. You've been covering for her. She's my friend, Sarah said weakly. She said she was going to tell you. When? After she figured out how to take half of everything I own? Sarah looked down at her desk. I told her this was wrong. I told her she was making a mistake. But you didn't tell me. It wasn't my place. I stood up. Well, now it's everyone's place. Because I'm done being the fool who doesn't know his wife is screwing around. I left Sarah's office and drove home. The house felt enormous and empty now, but it also felt honest. No more lies hiding in the corners. No more secrets lurking behind closed doors. At 6 p.m., my phone rang. Jenna. Alex, what the hell did you do to our house? I moved my stuff out, I said calmly. Why? Half our furniture's gone. The place looks like we were robbed. Just my half, I said. Everything you picked out is still there. Your half? What are you talking about? Alex, come home right now. We need to talk. I am home, I said. You should probably come here too. Bring Clay if you want. It's time we all had an honest conversation. The line went quiet for a long moment. Alex, I don't know what you think you know, but I know everything, Jenna. The texts, the hotels, the lies. I know about Clay's embezzlement too. His business partner was very interested in that information. I heard her gasp. You didn't. I did. See you soon, honey. Don't be late. We have a lot to discuss. I hung up and waited. The house was quiet except for the sound of my own breathing. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe clearly. 20 minutes later, Jenna's car screeched into the driveway. Jenna burst through the front door like a hurricane, her face flushed with anger and panic. Clay was right behind her, looking less confident than usual in his expensive suit. What the hell have you done? Jenna screamed. You can't just destroy our lives because you're having some kind of breakdown. Breakdown? I laughed, standing up from my desk chair. I'm thinking more clearly than I have in years. Clay stepped forward, trying to look intimidating. He was taller than me, broader, the kind of man who probably used his size to get his way. Look, Alex, I think we need to discuss this like adults. Adults, I repeated. Like adults who embezzle from their business partners? Or adults who lie to their spouses for months? His face went pale. I don't know what you think you found, but bank records, I said. Invoice fraud. Diverted funds. Your partner, Patterson, was very grateful for the information. He's probably calling the police right about now. Clay's composure cracked. You son of a bitch. You have no idea what you've done. I've told the truth, I said. Novel concept, I know. Jenna was pacing around the half-empty living room, her hands shaking. Alex, please, we can work this out. We can go to counseling, We can what? I interrupted. Pretend you haven't been screwing another man for months? Pretend you haven't been lying to my face every single day? It wasn't supposed to happen this way, she said, tears starting to flow. I was going to tell you. I was going to ask for a divorce properly. When? After you figured out how to take everything I own? Clay stepped closer to me, his fists clenched. You're going to regret this, you pathetic little man. I'll destroy you. With what? I asked. Your stolen money? Your ruined reputation? Face it, Clay, you're finished. That's when he swung at me. I'd been expecting it. 13 years in the Army teaches you to read people, to anticipate violence. I stepped back, and his fist whistled past my face. Off balance, he stumbled forward, and I helped him along with a firm push that sent him crashing into the wall. Get out, I said calmly. Both of you. This is my house, and you're not welcome here. Our house, Jenna said. I have rights.
Intimate text intro, another weather.
Watch more on Grammarly.com.
Check with a lawyer, I said. I'm sure you'll find the situation more complicated than you think. Clay pulled himself up from the floor, his face red with embarrassment and rage. This isn't over. Yes, it is, I said. Your business is ruined, your reputation is shot, and everyone in town is going to know what kind of man you really are. It's very much over. They left, but not quietly. Jenna screamed threats and accusations all the way to her car. Clay slammed my front door so hard the frame shook. I watched from the window as they drove away, probably heading to Clay's place to figure out damage control. My phone rang. Tom. Alex, what the hell is going on? I just heard from a contact at the police department. Clay Hartford was arrested an hour ago for embezzlement. Good, I said. Justice served. And there's something else. Word is getting around about his affair with Jenna. Sarah Mitchell has been talking. Sarah? Apparently she felt guilty about covering for Jenna. She's been telling people at the agency what really happened. It's spreading fast. I felt a grim satisfaction. How fast? By Monday, everyone in town is going to know your wife was cheating with a criminal. Perfect, I said, and that saves me the trouble. Alex, be careful. Desperate people do stupid things. Clay might try something. Let him try, I said. I'm ready. But I wasn't ready for what happened next. At 2 a.m., I woke up to the sound of breaking glass. Someone was in my garage. I grabbed a baseball bat from my closet and crept downstairs. The garage door was open and my car was gone. On the floor where my car had been parked, someone had spray-painted a message in red. You're dead. I called the police and reported the theft. When they arrived, they took photos of the graffiti and filed a report, but they seemed more interested in the embezzlement case than my stolen car. Mr. Denver, the officer said, we understand you're the one who provided evidence against Clay Hartford. I am. Well, he made bail an hour ago, and he's not very happy with you. I'm not very happy with him either, I said. He stole my car. We'll look into it, the officer said, but his tone suggested it wasn't a priority. After the police left, I called Tom. He took my car and threatened to kill me. I said, Jesus, want me to come over? No, but I want you to document everything. Photos, police reports, witness statements. I have a feeling this is going to get worse before it gets better. I was right. Saturday morning brought a new surprise. I woke up to find my stolen car parked in my driveway, with all 4 tires slashed and loser keyed into the paint on both sides. Clay was making this personal. Good. I preferred my enemies stupid and angry. I called the police again, filed another report, and had the car towed to a body shop. Then I called Tom. It's time to go public, I said. I want everyone in town to know exactly what kind of people Jenna and Clay are. What did you have in mind? The Harvest Festival is this afternoon in Central Park. Half the town will be there, including most of Jenna's coworkers and social circle. Alex, what are you planning? Street justice, he said, the old-fashioned kind. The Harvest Festival was Millbrook's biggest social event of the year. Local businesses set up booths, families brought their kids, and everyone pretended to be one big happy community. Jenna never missed it. She used it as a networking opportunity. I arrived at 3 p.m. and found Tom at the beer tent. He looked nervous. I still think this is a bad idea, he said. Relax. I'm not going to hurt anyone. I'm just going to tell the truth. In public, at a family event? Sometimes the truth needs an audience, I said. I spotted Jenna near the arts and crafts booths, talking to a group of women from her office. She looked tired, stressed. Good. I walked over with a smile on my face. Hello, ladies, I said cheerfully. Mind if I join the conversation? The women looked confused. They knew something was wrong. Small towns are gossip machines. But they weren't sure what. Alex, Jenna said tightly, what are you doing here? Same thing as everyone else, I said. Enjoying the festival, celebrating our community. Speaking of which, I wanted to thank you all for being such good friends to my wife during her difficult time. Difficult time? Asked Margaret from the agency's accounting department. Oh, you haven't heard, I said, pulling out my phone. Jenna's been having an affair with Clay Hartford, the real estate developer who was arrested yesterday for embezzlement. The group went silent. Jenna's face turned white. Alex, don't, she whispered. Don't what? Tell the truth? Share the love letters you've been sending each other? I held up my phone. I have screenshots. Would you like me to read some of the more romantic passages? You bastard, Jenna hissed. Actually, that would be Clay, I said. Technically, I'm still your husband, though not for much longer. Margaret and the other women were staring at Jenna like she'd grown a second head. Small-town social circles are unforgiving, and adultery with a criminal was social suicide. Jenna, Margaret said slowly, is this true? Before Jenna could answer, I spotted Clay across the park. He was walking toward us with purpose, his face dark with anger. Perfect timing, I said. Here comes your boyfriend now. Clay pushed through the crowd, ignoring the stares and whispers that followed him. His arrest had made the local news, and everyone recognized him. You, he said, pointing at me. We need to talk. We're talking, I said. In fact, we're having a very public conversation about your relationship with my wife. Shut your mouth, Clay snarled. Or what? You'll steal my car again? Threaten to kill me? Oh, wait, you already did both of those things. The crowd around us was growing. People were pulling out their phones, recording everything. This was going to be all over social media within hours. Clay grabbed my shirt. I'm warning you. Don't touch me, I said loudly, making sure everyone could hear. I'm not the one who committed crimes here. That's when Jenna snapped. Stop it, she screamed. Both of you, just stop. Alex, you're humiliating me. I'm humiliating you? I laughed. I'm not the one who cheated. I'm not the one who lied for months. I'm not the one who chose a criminal over my spouse. Clay's not a criminal, she said. It was a misunderstanding. A $200,000 misunderstanding, I said. That's a felony, Jenna. Your boyfriend is a felon. Clay's face was purple with rage. I'm going to destroy you. You already tried, I said. Didn't work out so well, did it? He swung at me again, this time connecting with my shoulder. I staggered back and the crowd gasped. Someone yelled for security. Did everyone see that? I called out. Clay Hartford just assaulted me. Again. Someone call the police. Clay realized his mistake immediately. Assaulting someone at a public event in front of dozens of witnesses with cameras was incredibly stupid. But anger makes people stupid. This isn't over, he said, backing away. Yes, it is, I replied. Your business is gone, your reputation is destroyed, and now you've committed assault in front of half the town. You're finished, Clay. And so is your relationship with my wife. I turned to Jenna, who was crying now, mascara running down her face. 12 years, I said quietly. 12 years I loved you, supported you, believed in you, and you threw it all away for a criminal who can't even control his temper. Alex, please, she whispered, don't do this here. You did this here, I said. You brought your lies and your cheating into our community. You made it everyone's business when you decided to humiliate me. The crowd was silent now, watching our marriage die in real time. I'm filing for divorce on Monday, I said, and I'm moving to Seattle for a new job. You can have the house, the furniture, whatever's left of your reputation. I'm done. I walked away, leaving Jenna sobbing in the middle of the festival, surrounded by people who would never look at her the same way again. Tom caught up with me at the parking lot. Jesus, Alex, that was brutal. It was honest, I said. For the first time in months, everything was honest. What now? Now I go home, pack my remaining things, and start my new life. And Jenna? Jenna gets to live with the consequences of her choices, I said, just like the rest of us. Sunday morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. Most were from Jenna, ranging from angry to desperate to threatening. A few were from mutual friends who'd heard about yesterday's public confrontation. One was from my new boss in Seattle, confirming my start date. I ignored them all and focused on packing. By noon, I had everything important loaded into a rental truck. The house felt like a museum now, empty, cold, full of artifacts from a life that no longer existed. I was taking only what mattered: my clothes, my computer equipment, my books, and a few pieces of furniture that held sentimental value. As I was loading the last box, Jenna's car pulled into the driveway. She got out slowly, looking like she hadn't slept. Her eyes were red and swollen, her hair unwashed. The confident, polished woman I'd married was gone, replaced by someone broken and desperate. "Alex, please," she said, "we need to talk." "We talked yesterday," I said, "in front of the whole town. That wasn't talking, that was cruel." "Cruel?" I stopped loading and looked at her. "You want to know what's cruel? Lying to someone for months, making them feel crazy for suspecting the truth, choosing a criminal over the person who loved you unconditionally." "Clay's not a criminal," she said weakly. "The charges will be dropped." "No, they won't," I said. I made sure of that. Her face crumpled. "Why are you doing this? Why are you trying to destroy us?" "I'm not destroying anything," I said. "You already did that. I'm just making sure everyone knows the truth." "The truth?" She laughed bitterly. "The truth is that you were boring, Alex. You were predictable and safe and boring. Clay made me feel alive." "Clay made you feel important," I corrected. "There's a difference. And he did it with stolen money." "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I said. "You wanted excitement, danger, passion. You wanted to feel special. So you chose a man who lies and steals and cheats. Congratulations, Jenna. You got exactly what you deserved." She was crying again, but I felt nothing. The man who would have comforted her, who would have tried to fix this, was gone. He died yesterday at the festival, in front of everyone we knew. "Where will you go?" she asked. "Seattle. New job, new life, new everything." "What about me?" "What about you?" I asked. "You made your choice. Live with it." I climbed into the rental truck and started the engine. Through the windshield, I could see her standing in the driveway, looking lost and alone. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Then I remembered the text messages, the lies, the months of being made a fool. The moment passed. I drove away without looking back. The storage unit was my last stop in Millbrook. I had one final surprise for Jenna and Clay, something I'd been planning since Friday. Inside the unit, I'd arranged a little display, photos of them together, printed from her phone, copies of their text messages blown up to poster size, bank records showing Clay's embezzlement, police reports from his arrest and the vandalism of my car. In the center of it all, I'd placed a single red rose and a note. "Congratulations on your new life together. Hope it was worth it. Alex." I left the key to the storage unit on Jenna's car, along with the address and a final message. "Your stuff is here. Don't contact me again." Then I got back in the rental truck and started driving west. I was somewhere in Pennsylvania when my phone rang. Tom. "Alex, you need to know something. Clay tried to skip town this morning. The police caught him at the airport with $50,000 in cash and a fake ID. Seriously? Dead serious. He's looking at federal charges now. Flight risk, identity fraud, the works. He's not getting bail this time." I felt a deep satisfaction. "And Jenna?" "Haven't seen her, but word is she's been calling everyone she knows, trying to find someone to blame for this mess. No one's taking her calls." "Good," I said. "She needs to learn that actions have consequences." "Alex, I have to ask, do you feel bad about any of this?" I thought about it for a moment, watching the highway stretch out ahead of me. "No," I said finally. "I feel free." 3 days later, I was sitting in my new office in Seattle, looking out at the Puget Sound, when my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I know what you did. This isn't over. See. I showed the message to my new boss, who immediately called the Seattle police and the FBI. Threatening someone across state lines is a federal crime, especially when you're already facing embezzlement charges. An hour later, I got a call from Tom. Clay's been arrested again, he said. Federal marshals picked him up at the county jail. Apparently, he used a smuggled phone to threaten you. How long will he be gone this time? With the embezzlement, flight risk, identity fraud, and now interstate threats. We're talking 5 to 10 years minimum. I leaned back in my office chair and smiled. Perfect. And Alex, I heard from Sarah Mitchell. Jenna's been fired from the agency. Apparently, the partners decided her personal drama was bad for business. Karma, I said. There's more. She's been trying to sell the house, but no one wants to buy it. Turns out being the town's most famous adulteress isn't good for property values. She'll figure it out, I said, or she won't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. That evening, I sat on the balcony of my new apartment, watching the sunset over Elliott Bay. My phone was silent, my conscience was clear, and my future was entirely my own. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. Jenna had wanted freedom from her boring, predictable husband. Clay had wanted easy money and easier women. They'd both gotten exactly what they'd asked for, and I'd gotten something better. The truth, justice, and a fresh start in a city where no one knew my story. Sometimes the good guy does win. You just have to be willing to fight dirty when the situation calls for it. I raised my beer to the setting sun and smiled. Game over.